Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is gonna be my complete note-taking strategy, how I took notes and how I felt that my notes were a very efficient and a complete resource for all the exams that I have given throughout my first year. This strategy is not only for MBBS but can be used for any other course and any other year, be it even in school or in college. So I hope you find this video helpful, and without any further ado, let's get into the video. So today's video is going to be divided into two parts. One, lecture note taking, that is pen paper note taking and how to take notes while you're attending a lecture. And the next part is how to take notes from a textbook, that is personal note taking for revision or for self-study. So firstly, let's talk about lecture note taking. How I took my lecture notes, and they were a very good resource for me for revision during all the exams that I gave during first year, and also during the time crunch. You have a stipulated time that the class is going on. How do you make effective and concise notes during that time? So that's what I'm going to be telling in this section. So there are a few points that I kept in mind while making my notes, and they are: firstly, make notes in points. Point-wise notes are very easy to revise and are very good for active recall. So when you make notes, make sure you write the heading in capital letters or in a big font, and then write the points, write the subtopics as points below it. It will become easier for you to revise and also navigate through your notes. The next point would be write in diagrams or flowcharts. Diagrams or flowcharts are very important for pictorial learning and easy grasping of subject. So when you are writing a particular topic, I would recommend you guys to use arrows to make a lot of small points around a topic, so that would be like a mind map for you and you can understand it very easily. Also, flowcharts help you gain concept very easily, and diagrams are a key source for knowledge because, for example, let me tell you, if you're learning about Na plus K plus pump, you do not have to write a lot. You don't have to write the whole paragraph. You can instead draw a diagram, make sure with the arrows you can show how the ions move, and below that you can draw arrows from the diagram and write down the key points, how ATP is utilized, what happens and everything, so that it will be very concise yet high yield. The next point I would say is use abbreviations. So ultimately, these notes that you're making are your notes and only you will be referring to them in the future. So make abbreviations, even though they do not make sense to the society. You can make any abbreviations. You can write short forms like for hemoglobin, just HB. Make your notes as small as possible, yet all the points will be covered in the same notes. Next, I would say key, use symbols, signs and arrows. Like for increases, you can just use an upward arrow. For greater than, lesser than, you don't have to write a lot. For example, if you're talking about anatomy and you're learning origin insertion of muscles, you can just write, for example, if you're writing biceps brachii, you can write biceps brachii, O, short head, SH, long head, LH, and write down where the origin is from. Then insertion, tendon and aponeurosis. You can just write it down. So as points, as abbreviations in short forms gives you crisp notes. You do not have to write paragraphs and paragraphs, right? If a professor is showing you a whole slide of just theory, and if you are able to make that down into a flowchart or a diagram, that would be of a great help. So that's it for lecture note taking. My last point would be that there will be a time crunch, so make sure you use that lecture time efficiently. So by making lecture notes, you'll be very active during the class, you won't feel sleepy, and you can focus on class and make the most out of your lecture time. In fact, that will reduce your self-study time. If you understand the concept in class itself and make down effective notes, you do not have to come back to the room and study again the same concept from the textbook or anything. In fact, that's how you have to manage your time. You will get extra time for your extracurriculars and other things, and you will be a happy person in general. So the next segment would be taking personalized notes or self-study notes from textbooks. So for this, I took e-notes on my iPad. So I will be showing you examples from my iPad and I'll explain you, and this will also give you a gist of the other points that I told you in the last section so that you can understand how I made my notes. So what apps did I use for my note taking? I used two apps, that is GoodNotes and OneNote. GoodNotes is a paid application, but you do get 3 free ebooks. So I used that, the 3 free ebooks. And OneNote is a free application and it is very helpful. How I took my notes very concisely. So as I already told you guys in my previous video, that biochemistry was a subject that I felt was not my favorite subject, but I had to cope with it. And how did I cope with it? The major reason I coped with biochemistry was because of my note taking and mostly e-notes. Let me show you with example. I will show you one chapter, that is enzymes. So this is my notes for the chapter enzymes. This would be easier. So this is my notes for the chapter enzymes, 1, 2, 3.5 pages. So one chapter is summarized under just 3.5 pages. If you see, you will feel that enzymes is a huge chapter, but when I have all the notes in just 3.5 pages, it would give me a source of motivation to study the notes. By making notes like this, by dividing the page into 3 columns and writing crisp and to the point notes in points and in flowcharts. For example, if you see this point here, treatment of gout, this was given as a theory in the textbook, but I made sure I made it into a cycle or a flow chart so that it will become easier. You can see the use of symbols here. Negative means inhibiting the effect. Diagrams, see, everything should be in a diagrammatic format for easy understanding, right? So this one, you can see feedback repression, I've written. This was also a theory point, but look at it. I just drew a DNA structure and inhibition. So this cholesterol will come and inhibit at the genetic level. So that is understood. So you should try to make notes interesting like this so that you can read them and you won't get bored of your notes. Also, you can see that my notes are quite colorful. So making colorful notes will give you interest to reread the notes more times and revise easily. So my next point would be that color coding notes is very important. For example, if you see here, this is about Mitchell's constant and everything related to Mitchell's constant is in blue color. So it would help me to pinpoint and navigate through my notes easily and read the point that I require for that time. So like for enzyme inhibitions, everything about enzyme inhibition is in red color. My next point would be that some points I took up directly from the textbook I read, like RMP. So I took the pictures of screenshots of that and I put it up in my notes for even more efficiency so that I do not feel like I missed out. So basically, before every exam, I used to just read my notes and that would suffice. Major chapters, I made notes so that I did not feel overwhelmed to read the textbook again. I just read this and it was more than enough. For every major chapter, I made notes and they were so concise. Like look at this part. Renal regulation of acid-base balance. Everything in tabular forms. In fact, in my exam also, I have written the tabular forms. So they are really helpful. The examiner will look at it and it will impress the examiner. So soon a video is gonna come on exam tips and time management. So do stay tuned and subscribe to my channel for more such informative content. So that's it guys about my note taking. I hope this video helped you. This video will just give you some ideas as to how you can make your own notes. Some people would ask me to upload my notes somewhere so that you can revise or use them. I have no problem with uploading my notes, but I feel like every individual is different and making your personal notes will actually very much help you. So when you're making notes, you're not only reading, you're writing and you're also speaking. So that means there's like 3 times of revision in your brain that will help you to retain the concept. So please make your own notes and read them. When you make your own notes, you will feel that sense of accomplishment, that sense of personality, that these notes are my personal notes and I made them with a lot of effort. So you will put in efforts to read that notes and revise that notes. So please do make your own notes. Make effective, crisp, small notes and colorful notes so that you feel like reading them again and again. So happy learning to everyone. That's it for today's video. Also, if you have anything to say, you can please do comment down below and I would love to reply to all of your comments. Thank you for watching.